Great stuff.
Shane Leahy is the one who gets it.
My dad would have played for Ireland in the 60s. From when we could walk, we were handed a rugby ball. I took to it and got on reasonably well with it. I played Munster schools, left school and luckily played with Connacht and then on with Munster and Ireland A in the Ireland squad. So I had a fantastic time playing rugby, but it would have been certainly the focus of my life, and I guess the books were left to the side. But the rugby taught me so much. You were one injury or one bad performance away from losing your contract, so I had two small boys to worry about, so I started in the business world and thankfully it turned out very successfully.
Put the energy and passion that you would put into sport into your business, and that will bring you a long way towards succeeding in business.
In 2012 I was a finalist in the Entrepreneur of the Year. It's certainly not all plain sailing, life never is. I had to have 2 hips replaced due to old injuries from rugby. We had a substantial fraud in our African business, which had significant consequences to the business. And I guess more important and more personal to me is my long-term marriage of 25 years, broke up. You take a long, hard look at yourself and what you're doing.
This is Europe in 2022. Russian tanks rolling across the borders of a sovereign neighbouring country.
I happened to be in Kiev just before the war, so when the war kicked off, I felt I had to do something. I still had a lot of drive, I still had a lot to give. I guess I directed that towards assisting in Ukraine. The Russians had targeted the health infrastructure within Ukraine, so it was very obvious from an early stage that they needed assistance.
You can see literally the destroyed hospital and the clinic in a can, which is operating as a triage centre for the hospital. It's sitting in front of the old emergency department, which is closed.
Majority of them were trauma units because that's what was required. But there was also maternity units, there was also primary care clinics, and there was a lab unit that we put in.
But it's here beside us. There's a lot of shelling that's going on beside us, but this is, again, another clinic in a can which is operating here. You can see the shrapnel and the damage that's been caused in the front of this.
At the start of the war, we were able to put warehouses in place and logistics solution in place. It was like a startup. It really was taking a business approach to a humanitarian crisis. And then once we had a solution in place, we were very quickly able to scale that up. To date, we've brought in about 80 million worth of medicines and counting. From an early age, my father would have passed on to me, just how good it felt to play for Ireland in the humanitarian field. If you knew how good it felt to deliver medicines or to assist the people in need, the feeling that you get from being able to do that would just drive you on.
Airstrikes in northern Gaza have killed more than 30 Palestinians, including at least 13 children.
Ross Kelly from the Entrepreneur of the Year network stepped up and joined as the director of our Gaza response. The International Medical Corps in Gaza, and they are going to use our first clinic to do 8 to 10 major surgeries on a daily basis. We have 16 units in Ukraine, and we hope to have at least 10 units in Gaza, so we hope to scale effectively an Irish hospital within Gaza. The Entrepreneur of the Year network were incredibly supportive. What we've done in Ukraine and Gaza would not have been possible without the support of that network. They've taken a leap in faith. A lot of the alumni that have supported me haven't met me before. Unfortunately, I lost my father in the last 12 months, and his last message to me actually comes from a concern, and that is, do as much as you can, for as many as you can, for as long as you can. I believe he did that, and I believe that's what he's passed on to me, and it's a legacy that I'm trying to prove.